Good morning guys, and welcome to yet another vlog here on a Saturday morning here in not so sunny Milton Keynes. Still winter, still gloomy, dull, damp, etc. So we've come to somewhere I've never been before. Milton Keynes is synonymous with places like called Kiln Farm. These are actual brick kilns that are just round the corner from there, going back to probably a pre and post Victorian era. From then they become obsolete and London Brick took over at the back of the Lakes estate, and they are now obsolete themselves. But let's go and have a look at these and look deeper into our history. See you in a bit. Just adjacent to where we are is this, it's not quite swampland, it's all sort of more like a pea soup, to be honest with you. Do not fancy swimming in there for one moment. But our destination to start is just round the corner, right there. One of the unusual finds you will come across while going around the Redways in Milton Keynes are these brick kilns. There used to be a large tower here many years back, but these are where they used to make the old bricks which made the houses that frequent the area probably from the 1800s. Then after that time you had London Brick Company come in at the back of the Lakes estate, build their quarry area, their own kilns. They had, I think it was 7 chimney stacks there, and this just became simply obsolete, and this would have been in the 1800s. And from there these have just stood and become an old relic, but they're quite unique and in very good condition. You can see they've been rendered. This one looks like it's having a bit more work done to it, and as for London Brick itself, that's long gone as well. But yeah, the old, probably your old thatched cottages, some of your buildings which would have been 1800s etc, they would have been made from bricks formed in these kilns. What they would have done, put them in a pit, heated it up, all these holes here where you would put your wood in etc for your fires, stoked it, get it going hot, and then voila, you have the bricks like you see that make the actual structure. They are actually quite a stunning feature to the landscape. I've never seen them before. They sit parallel, basically the Grand Union Canal, and what looks like a mooring area for a load of boats over there. Surrounded by water, waterfowl etc. You see a load of ducks down there. There's a really awful looking swampy area just to the right of where these sit as well. But out of interest, what happens if we look deeper and go back to that time frame? You just imagine if you looked in, close your eyes into the dark and open them again, would things be the same? So we open our eyes and step out the gloom and find ourselves back in an era of yesterday, with the help of course of the Museum of Milton Keynes, which is fully active, or should I say interactive, so you can go around and touch and play with things, which makes it that much more interesting. Gives us a chance to reminisce. Looking in here, remembering some of the old brands, some of the things that are from a bygone era. You may see still in the shops in different guises. Obviously your Cobblers, your Roundtrees etc. That's what they were like. especially like your quality street tin. That's what they used to be like. Now you get a little plastic tub with pockets of air with your little chocolate bit in there, which just fills it, and it just sort of takes away from the weight of the tin. Well, at least I think it does. It might just be one of these things like everyone thinks an old wagon wheel was twice the size it used to be, or a burger you used to get at McDonald's, etc., is twice the size it used to be. It's probably just your hand. The good thing about this place is you can pick things up. So these are all your salt, spices, etc. Old toffee tin up there. See, I'm from a bygone era. I still believe that I sort of should be back in this time. Old Oxo cube tins. Many of these are fetch a few bob on the old market. And they'd have your little cubes inside it. And then of course, your old tobacco. Cigarettes, old names you probably won't see anymore. Before then, you even had your pipe tobacco, matches, etc. Golden syrup hasn't changed in all these years. And even the way things used to be weighed. Yes, that is a working telephone. You can hear in the background someone from the bar to the side of us is probably phoning someone in the post office. The bar itself. I was a beer man years ago. Used to love, probably used to the old Australian style, like Foster's, Castlemaine Forex, then went on the Grolsch. And then recently it's been your dark fruited ciders. I do like a Bud or a Bud Light, but these are old school. Your optics there, the old tankards. I think I've said before, used to be a thing with the old King shilling on them. Some of these had glass bottoms to try and avoid what happened in the past. You go into a bar, have your pint, etc. in there. When you get to the bottom, you found a shilling in it, and found out that you had just been enlisted into the army without you knowing it. And these pumps would all work. And old Cobblers. Strange, I've never been one. I suppose it's I live in a throwaway society. It was more maybe coming up to my mum's generation, but certainly my grandparents, they would always have shoes and boots rehealed and resold. But now we're just, maybe it's easier, maybe it's cheaper just to go out and buy a new pair and throw the other pair away. But these are what they used to be like. Now they are both Cobblers and they do keys, etc. as well. There was a sign on the door saying that this place was closed today, but it's not actually. It's just to keep the smells in. You come in here and you get that oldie woldy fashiony smell from a chemist. And the one thing, recently I've had a cold and I got the old bottles of Lucozade, and it made me reminisce of what Lucozade used to be like. You used to have a clear glass bottle and it was wrapped in like a brown or orangey cellophane wrap, and everyone used to think it was some sort of miracle elixir that would sort out all your problems. Look at that Old Spice. I actually got a bottle of Old Spice from my nan and granddad years ago for Christmas. Still kept it, never opened it. It's just a relic sitting at the side. So as growing up, everyone remembers the really naff aftershaves, etc. I think we had the co-op in Bletchley and all the lads were after things like Mandate and, I don't know, awful stuff. Chorus. Get these different herbs, medicinal things, and they are actual sponges, not the artificial stuff you get nowadays.
Ooh, you're getting a lot of these. There you go. If you jump up and down while you're eating them, you're fine.
Rachel is misbehaving herself at the back of the classroom eating sweets. You'll get detention for that. So here at the actual post office you can pick up quarters of old style sweets for £1 a bag, which is quite reasonable this day and age at a museum price. Nothing like school that I remember. The old abacus over there, you still see them when I was at school, and some of these old style tables, but that would have had a quill in it. And when you say a quill, pretty much it's a feather like this. They would have put ink in it and you would have written with those, and then from then it would have gone on the fountain pens. Maths was my strong point. The old handwriting was always terrible for me. We do have a bell. Always love a hardware store. Never really been minded on doing things like DIY, etc. So they are pretty useless to me, because it's fascinating what you find in here. Some of the old clamps, mangles, axes, things you just do not use nowadays. So I remember the old drills, the old hand drills. Everything's now powered. Jesus, that's an old fan. Look at the old cable on that. And that's if anyone gets a fan at home, that would have been the original version of it. That'd certainly take your fingers off. The old Arkwright style till. Anyone who lived in the Bletchley, Fenny Stratford era would have fond memories of pollards. There is a newer version of pollards, but it's not comparable, to be honest with you. It's just someone selling a load of old tat in their name, which I think is pretty awful. That do some damage if you drop that on your foot. And of course, anyone who remembers the sketch, fork handles, or handles for forks. I am by nature a carnivore, so I do love me meats, etc. And meal wise for me, I would probably turn around and say favourites. Whether I could say favourites of all time or not, I'm not sure, but I suppose it does change with the way that we evolve and change. I've always been fond of spaghetti bolognese, chicken tikka masala, or whatever one. No, I don't think I'd go too far strong, like a fowl or madras or something like that. I do like a korma, so yeah, masala, tikka masala or a korma for an Indian. A Chinese, which would consist of chicken Chinese style, chicken Hong Kong style, which has all your bean sprouts, etc. Egg fried rice with crispy shredded chili beef, sweet and sour chicken balls, etc. Then of course I do love a steak. Steaks pretty much has got to be America for me. I used to be a huge fan of Longhorns, but last time out we went to a place called Black Angus and it just knocked it out the ballpark. You could cut it with a spoon. It was so tender, and not one like back here you'd probably put tomato ketchup or something on it. There you had it just as it was so flavoursome. And then of course your traditional Sunday roast, be it beef, chicken, pork, lamb, turkey, etc. Love them all. actually believe that all these little cottages up here represent Stoney and Wolverton? No, actually that's Newport Pagnell, that's the cannon. Might be a mixture of all of them. And that's the bridge, the iron bridge. Reminds me of some of the stuff I go out and find while I'm here, actually. Always have time for the cinema and movies. It's hard to nail down, I guess, for anyone, yourselves. Bletchley, my old cinema, absolutely love that place. So many classics over the years. Just saying, it's hard to nail down what would be your favourite films of all time, because it will be forever changing. You put things in certain genres. My all-time favourite movie is of course Jaws. I think it was Steven Spielberg's second go at making movies after Jaws. And the old killer shark, I absolutely loved it to bits. I actually cried when the film finished because I was only 4 years old when it came out and I didn't understand what the shark had done wrong. From there, I suppose there's more modern films. I love Twister. There is a second Twister movie coming out this year. I love the Rocky movies, Jurassic Park movies, Star Wars, of which, ironically, it's not the first one, it's the second one, and there's a lot of people that feel the same. The Empire Strikes Back, the dark movie of them, that we all seem to appreciate a little bit more. So lots of Jurassic Park, anything sci-fi. It's just good to think of the old days in the past. Do love an old range. Find plenty of them on the old Explorers that we do. Right, thank you very much for joining us again today. It was a good little explore. We're going to carry on now ourselves, look around the museum, because it's just a pretty cool place to go. It's all, as I said, it's hands-on. It's just something I put together. I thought we'll go to the brick kiln to go back in time, which we've done. Hope it's worked out. It's one of these trial and error type of things. And with that, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you in the movies. Bye for now.